It's the Wickersham Leaders Show with today's episode, Summertime Smashing. Greetings, everybody. Welcome back once again to the Wickersham Leaders Show. I'm your host, and I'm the host. I also host the game. You know, I put the lobby up for all of you people to play on. Anyways, I'm sorry I started so late. I don't have an excuse. I just slept. Is it summer yet? Well, it won't be summer for 6 days, but that's okay. It feels like summer here. Goodness gracious. Look, when your son is wearing sunglasses, that's how you know it's gonna be hot, alright? I'm telling you. Anyway, since we started so late, I'm gonna skip doing all the training nonsense, and we're just gonna open up the lobby for all of you people right away. So, without any further ado, not that I know what ado is, let me just go over there and get it open. Let me tell you guys about what it's like when you live in Toontown. The seasons are... How come the Toon Sun looks different from the normal sun? Because we don't use the normal sun. We don't need it. Yeah, we have the smaller one. And of course, that also doesn't account for things like... Don Patch or Mr. Shine. They're all there. $2J173. One moment, let me just put in the other one. $2J173. Let me tell you about seasons in Toontown, alright? We get full blast all the time, okay? Spring is always blooming with life. There is always beautiful things out all the time. Summer immediately becomes incredibly hot. And everything is out and about, and they're at the beach. Fall has the leaves fall instantly. I'm surprised you didn't just turn that around. There we go. Wow, really? Can we have that confirmed better, please? Whew, that probably would have killed me. Hey, Tropic. Ooh. Whew. Oh, shoot. I'm gonna have to fight that stupid Pokemon trainer. Yep, there it is. What? I had a fully charged... Alright, I'll take it. I'll take that too. Works for me. What? Oh my gosh. No, I played his game. There we go. Jeez Louise. Hate fighting Pokemon trainer, especially Dragonites. I don't feel good for doing that. I feel like I just survived a gauntlet. It doesn't feel satisfying. I didn't win, I survived. Oh, jeez, the lag. Might be on my end. Maybe. Could be. Oh. Well, it seems to be stable now, so I'm not going to worry too much. Yeah, it seems to be all well and good at this point. Wow, I'm shocked I actually won that, but Congus probably wasn't trying as hard as he could have been. I did have a little bit of a good string there, actually. I will agree. Oh, right. Just gotta adjust to online delay. Yeah, I figured. You're probably not gonna let me do that again. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't beat you guys, honestly. There'd have to be something going on in order for me to win, so I get it. Why did I do that? I just stood there. See you later, Tropic. It's always good to see you, though. Wow, that worked with the music very well. All right, Buyo, who you playing today? Mario, huh? That's unusual. Unless you have that bug where it gives you Mario when you pick someone else. Because we had that a few times before, haven't we? You miss Brooklyn Mario? Luckily for you, a movie just came out that had Mario from Brooklyn. You just found this album. Yeah, I'm liking the sound of it too. It almost sounds like it's from the Middle East. So let's see, what's new? The new Looney Tunes movie, The Day the World Blew Up, is doing amazingly everywhere. All the people who saw it at the film festival in Annecy, said it was amazing. Let's see. The short that was released at a film festival last year, Daffy and Wacky Land, got released on Max as part of Looney Tunes cartoons. So now we finally get to see that one, which has been sitting for a while. CN City turns 20 today. Isn't that crazy? CN City, for those of you who don't know, was the name of the style of bumpers that Cartoon Network started in 2003, and it ended in 2006. Essentially, the way it worked was that there was a city where all of the Cartoon Network characters lived in. All the locations from the shows were, all the important locations from the shows were there. They had special bumpers, and all the characters lived together, making it very special to those who watched it. I know you've been watching My Life as a Teenage Robot, Zelrog, and I've heard that you thought it was mostly okay. I think your main point, one of your main points of contention is that it doesn't go as far as it could, or something like that. X-Men are fine but forgettable. Yeah. It's really more of a sitcom. It's like if it's kind of like in Kim Possible had less memorable villains and the episodes weren't about the mission she went on. Although that one villain that sounds like Eartha Kitt, she's well remembered, I think, but I can't remember her name personally. I haven't seen much of it. The Cluster Lady. Yeah. I know people also remember the Crust twins. No, they're not twins. Tiff and Britt Crust. They're cousins, that's it. One who's British for some reason. Yeah. I mean, she's cousin from far away, so... The main storyline for Tears of the Kingdom. I'm wagering you didn't like it. Oh yes, the fight with Ganon in Tears of the Kingdom is way harder than Breath of the Wild. Oof. Rough. It's really rough. Join the game if a little less than Breath of the Wild. Okay, that's good. I was, you know, I just kind of expected you to hate these. You don't love how much it retcons? Yeah. Like, does it take place before Skyward Sword? I don't know. It doesn't. That actually nods to Skyward Sword more than I expected. Okay. Because well, the remake was after Tears of the Kingdom, wasn't it? No, it was before. No, you're right. It was before. Oof. Oh, man. I did in because I wasn't expecting you to throw out the up B for no reason, but I forgot how awful Lucina feels online. You know, I'm wondering if I'm ever really gonna have a victory against you guys where it's meaningful, intentional, and not because of a mistake you guys made. You know what I mean? You do have those, but I think you notice them less than the losses. I don't know, it's hard to say. sent Ganon back to his game. That's Ganon. Ganon is very, you either win hard or you lose hard. What the heck? You're kidding me. You came back from that? Oh, and I can't even punish you for that. But it doesn't feel like... Okay, so it doesn't feel like a win if the reason I lost is because you guys couldn't play as well as you could have due to external features like lag. Did I really win, or did I use something else to help me get to that victory screen? Wow, really? But see, they didn't have that there, and they beat me. And they beat me easily. You know what I'm saying? It was a fluke. I just can't do anything to Squirtle. Like, I can try all I want, but I cannot hit Squirtle. None of my attacks are big enough and quick enough for it to hit him. I have to play this neutral game where it's like, ooh, I'm not touching you, and sometimes I get to play, but most of the time I'm waiting and hoping that he doesn't get any single hit on me. I don't know. I guess I want the wins to feel like I did them because I'm the better player, or I outplayed my opponent rather than a mistake they made, you know? I know obviously all of this is exemplifying mistakes that you make and playing off of an opponent's weaknesses, But that weakness shouldn't be, I lagged out and you happen to pick a better option randomly. So how have you guys liking people bringing back Miiverse Yaz to Twitter? Huh? How about that? Everyone just collectively decided that we're gonna just start saying, yeah. So Twitter removed the ability to see likes. See people's likes. So to show people that they're liking stuff, they're now using Miiverse Yaz as an image. And people are making their own variations of the Miiverse, yeah. Had like 430 followers when it got taken down. That was like 2 days ago, though. Ooh, nice. Oh, the real Miiverse. I had no followers when Miiverse got taken down. Some things never change, man. No followers on DeviantArt, no followers on Miiverse, no followers on Twitter. Just love the Smash stage. I do like the Smash stage. Hey, does anybody remember... Anybody remember hearing about that's how Han Solo died in episode 7 through Miiverse? That's how I found out. Usually people would just fill it with nonsense. I mean, heck, all of the Lucas ones were all the same joke about winning won't bring Klaus back, or winning won't bring Hinawa back. Guy posted that Luigi was hot and he regretted it. Then today that Anakin's mom was named Shmi. Oh, yeah, I guess you haven't seen episode 1 in a while, but I think they do say Shmi in the movie. Shmi Skywalker. She was a slave. The Jedi didn't help her. I've only watched episode 4 in full. Ah. Well, I think you at least owe it to yourself to see The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Not just because, you know, I like Star Wars, but because those are, like, legitimately considered classic films. You know, like, the kind of stuff that people talk about in college kind of movies. People do talk about the original Star Wars trilogy. You didn't care for 4. Oh. Well then, I guess you're not gonna do, it's not gonna do a whole lot for you, the other two. Although I will say episode 5 is probably the second darkest film out of the entire. Not that any of the movies are incredibly dark, but like outside, like Episode 3 and Episode 5 are probably the two darkest Star Wars films. You like Star Wars? Of course it. Loads of people love Star Wars. It's not an uncommon thing to like Star Wars. What about the recent stuff, though? Well, I'm not a fan of episode 7 and 8, excuse me, 8 and 9, really. I don't think they're very good movies, but hey, you know, in a couple of years, maybe I'll just be okay with them like I am with the prequels. There are things I like about the prequels, too. Okay, goodness, I've had this conversation before. Let me try to get to the meat and potatoes of what I'm talking about here, then. Just real quick. The thing I like about the Star Wars prequels is that they introduced a lot of new things. They, the prequels introduced a lot of new things. The clones, the Jedi as an organization, Coruscant, Naboo, all these planets, all these things, and basically reinventing Anakin the character. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna go here and pretend like those movies are, like, great masterpieces of film. They're not really, but they are the story that George Lucas wanted to tell, and he had final say on everything, which I can applaud that somebody basically footed the bill by himself to make the movies he wanted to make. Fine. But the thing outside of those movies are fantastic. The video games, the Clone Wars, the comics, all the extended lore that we've got from that whole time period and what that meant for the series as a whole is interesting. And I think that there's a lot of good stuff to come from it. The problem with the prequels is that it's not trying to be the originals per se, although episode 7 basically is episode 4. It's not trying to necessarily be it's not trying to be the original trilogy in terms of its plot, but it is trying to call back to it a lot. Like, there is a lot of the original trilogy has a lot of dingy, dirty, natural-looking places that are full of people who are, like, struggling, and they have, like, all the machinery is slightly dirty, right? While the prequels, everything was, like, chrome, it looked all brand new and shiny, it was all about politics and hoity-toity stuff, so they switched the focus back to, Dragonite's gone on your screen. Goofy Goober's been AFK for a while. Goofy Goober's not here. Oh, never mind. There they are. Arena. Okay, well, we're gonna start over. Start the arena over. Just kind of gave up. What was I saying? Oh, yes. And as a result of trying to basically just kind of be visually similar to the original trilogy, the sequel trilogy loses a sense of visual identity. When you think of the prequels, you think of the clones, you think of Naboo, you think of Coruscant, these new things that wasn't there before. But when you think of the sequel trilogy, you think of a plucky group of rebels fighting against the Empire 2.0. It's very similar, and I don't like that it's very similar. It feels like it can't be its own thing. It's too busy trying to remind you of the good stuff that it fails to stand on its own 2 feet. I would like the sequels to have been a little bit more interesting visually in terms of, like, trying to differentiate itself. I would have liked planets that felt like they were actually new. There are a few of them. There's Crate. There's, well, see, there's Crate, which is this awesome salt flats planet that's got this cool red soil. That planet looked amazing. But we have Jakku. It's Tatooine again. We have Kef Bir, which is like Dagobah in terms of story. It's even got a cave where you're supposed, like a Dark Force cave where you're supposed to, like, combat yourself. I mean, it looks nice. There's Pisana, another desert planet. It's Tatooine again. We've got Takodana, which essentially takes the position of a Mos Eisley Cantina and gives a whole planet for it. What was there? Kijimi's a new planet. That place seemed legitimately new. But Starkiller Base was a bigger Death Star. And then Exegol is a cool looking planet, but it's just a final boss area. Like, it's got lightning and thunder and all the bad guys ships are there, and it's just like, you know, the Empire Return of the Jedi ended on a forest planet. It ended on Endor. Just because it was the culmination of the bad guys' plan doesn't mean that we have to, like, go so far into it to make everything so obviously evil. I mean, granted, the Death Star is not exactly hiding how evil it is. But you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, in the prequels, we have Naboo, which is a completely new-looking planet that has a whole system where there are two different races living on it, and the problems that come from running a society like that. There's Kamino, which is a planet entirely covered in water that's got a civilization of, like, of cloners living on it. That's new. That's something different. Mustafar, a volcano planet. They hadn't done that before. See you later, Dragonite. It just makes me a little, I guess it just makes me a little sad to see it kind of, it feels like it's bankrupt of creativity. Like, they were so afraid to make it something original that might be bad that they tried to just copy what used to be there before, and it ended up not being good anyway. As for the story, there are parts of it I enjoy, and there are part of it I don't really enjoy all that much. I think that the fallback onto Palpatine was really lame. Especially since we were already, like, they killed Snoke in Episode 8, and he was like, well, he was supposed to be our Emperor, what do we do now? And instead of seeing where that goes with, like, the fact that they killed him, I mean, the killing kind of sucked, it was really, really quick, but it was important for Kylo Ren's character. I don't know, it's just kind of hard to talk about. It's kind of hard to talk about these movies without sounding like a massive nerd or like somebody who just is just butthurt. But I swear, if I hear one more discussion about Mary Sue Ray or like they put women in Star Wars, I'm gonna have a fit. Like, the movie sucks because the movie sucks on its own merits. You don't have to come up with some cultural reason for it to suck. Give them a plotline to follow to, and they just didn't do that. They may have, but I haven't looked that deep into it, to be fair. Dang. You know who I do miss from Tears of the Kingdom since you brought it up earlier? I miss Cass. What happened to him? What would you say the last good Star Wars project was? I don't know. I like, let's see. There was Andor. Andor was pretty good from what I heard. People liked the first couple seasons of The Mandalorian. The Book of Boba Fett was a bit of a disappointment for fans. Trying to think, what else did people like? Oh, people like Star Wars Visions. It's sad that Ganon's motivations are evil McEvil guy. Yeah, I mean, his motivations are so evil McEvil guy, it's baked into his character at this point that he literally cannot be anything other than evil McEvil guy. What was Demise's thing? What did Demise want to do? I've forgotten. Demise was a demon god at war with the regular gods, led a demon race and all, standard devil stuff. Oh, okay, so like King Piccolo type things. Got it. In Twilight Princess, Ganon isn't a Gerudo, right? Yeah. No, I knew about that part, but I didn't know what, like, because I haven't played Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword, I think, is the only mainline Zelda game I haven't played yet. He is a Gerudo. Okay, are there any other Gerudos in Twilight Princess? Oh, that's it. I haven't played Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. Those are the only two mainline Zeldas I haven't touched. Not that I recall. Okay. It's weird because, even though he's supposedly a Gerudo, he doesn't really look like one. He's like green instead of bronze. What was that hitbox? Did you guys see that? That's true. They weren't in Wind Waker. Kind of makes you wonder what happened to them in the Wind Waker timeline, because they just are gone. I guess when the desert floods, Like, who are you gonna... What are you gonna do? I do really like Wind Waker Ganon. His character arc is so nice because he lived all those years. I legitimately think that Wind Waker probably has one of the best Zelda stories. Like, the connection it has to Ocarina of Time and how it expands upon what happens after that is legitimately great. Tear the Kingdom retconning Ocarina of Time is extra bizarre since Breath of the Wild references Ruto by name. It retcons Ocarina? It makes explicit references to Ocarina. I mean, Skyward Sword already retconned by making the different goddesses. Ah, lag. I understand. Lag can suck. How did I land on that side? I was holding in for Pete's sake. Wow, thanks. Oh my gosh, the one time he doesn't jump over. Skyward Sword, but Skyward Sword introduces Hylia and forgets about the other three goddesses. All four goddesses exist? They do? Well, regardless, introducing Hylia is something that was never said before. But does every battle arena have a Sora? I don't know, but he's been maining Sora ever since he came out because he likes Kingdom Hearts and Sora. He has fun with his playstyle. Yes, he's very good at what he does. Kongus is a skilled player. He's been doing this harder for a lot longer than a bunch of us have. He's a tough cookie. Bum ba dum bum bum. Hello, Frankito. Good to see you again. Cloud. Ganon was shown being sealed at the time of the first King of Hyrule, which would mean he wasn't around for all the other games. So it was like the first king of a new Hyrule. That's what I took it to be. Cause like I figured that well, also, Ganon was also sealed away during the events of... He's also sealed away during the events of Breath of the Wild, but there was still Calamity Ganon? So, I don't know. It's frustrating that they kind of want to reference other games for fan points without bothering to tie them together. Well, yeah, but they kind of never really cared about having a consistent timeline in the first place. Not to mention, I mean, how many times has Hyrule been destroyed in the series anyways? I mean, because you know, they pause at the end of the timeline, Hyrule is basically gone when Ganon's tower replaces everything that's, like, left. Which Wind Waker follows that story. Because it was destroyed before Skyward Sword happened, right? Because there was a Hyrule there, and it's like... Not to mention things like Hyrule looks completely different in every single game. Then what was that kingdom underneath the on the ground in Skyward Sword? No kingdom, just wilds. I thought there was like a lost civilization down there. We don't know what it was called, though, do we? Alright. There you go. Jeez, that took a long time to kill. The shared rare universe timeline? Oh, you mean the ones that those guys at the, that DK, at DK Vine came up with? Sure, why not? Let me tell you their timeline, alright? It starts with Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong Country is the first game in the timeline. The arcade games, like, are events that happened in the past, but those games themselves are not canon. I don't know why, but they don't care. They don't count those. They posit that Donkey Kong Island... Oh my gosh, you won? Wow. They posit... I guess because they introduced Mario to the canon. Well, Mario's in the canon anyway, because DK keeps appearing in Mario games. They posit that Donkey Kong Island is an island in Africa, off the coast of Africa, and that it exists in our world, not Mario's world, apparently. They take a pipe to get to the Mushroom World. They follow the current DK is DK Jr. grown-up theory, not the current DK is DK Jr.'s son story that the game seemed to want to be more following towards. Depending on which version of the story you believe, he's either the current DK's father or his grandfather, and that's Cranky Kong. No great-grandfather. I just want to have a shield mean something. Like, when I shield, I'd like to be able for that to mean, oh, they hit you, so now I get to fight, right? It's my turn. When it comes to fighting Kongus, if he's at the top of his game, it's never my turn. Aggressive tank Yink isn't common. I mean, you don't see much tanker Yink anyway, but an aggressive tanker Yink is still a spammy tanker Yink, so it doesn't really change anything. But yeah, nah. It's never my turn, guys. I never get my turn. Oh, I shielded all of Sora's moves. Well, that means I get to respond, right? No. No, you idiot. That means that you get to keep shielding and run away while he prepares again for another combo that you're gonna take 50 plus damage on. Anyways, what else did they say? All the rare games that are created are considered part of the same timeline, I think. Like, with some exceptions. It's got something to do with, like, who created it. Like, It's Mr. Pants is considered part of this because it was in Banjo-Tooie. Banjo-Kazooie, Conker, and Donkey Kong all take place in the same universe, and that's because of Diddy Kong Racing. So that one, you know, that one's supported by a game where those characters actually interact with each other. I would be so happy if they just nerfed it. Like, all I wanted them to do was just nerf minecart so it's not a free command grab. Like, just the thing we needed, right? A disjointed command grab. Minecraft Legends actually completes the starting lore. There's starting lore in Minecraft? No, I didn't even know there was lore. It shouldn't be a hitbox if Steve gets hit out of it. Minecart, for me, is one of my biggest problems when fighting Steve. Because if he pulls out the minecart and starts going, I don't know how to react to it. I can try shielding it, but he can jump out with good time. Like there. Players, the Ancient Builders. Who are the Ancient Builders? He has no true punish if you shield. He shielded and he shielded minecart and he got grabbed anyway. I also agree that Minecraft doesn't need lore. Mostly because I think if it did have lore and you wanted to make... Mostly because you wanted it to give it lore and you wanted it to be important or something that actually influences the game in some way, you'd need to make it a more structured... You need to make it a more structured, situation. How does it work? Well, the times Sora time travel that I can recall are in... The first one was in Kingdom Hearts 2. And I think that's the only time Sora himself actually time traveled, was in Kingdom Hearts 2. Sora, I don't think Sora time travels again after that. Xehanort time travels, but I don't think Sora does. Dream Drop Distance has a world that takes place in the past, but it's a dream, so that doesn't really count. What was Star's take on it? I'm also annoyed there that Banjo hit the minecart while Steve was riding it, but Steve didn't take any damage. If you're gonna make minecart do so much, like, and give Steve so much get out of jail free stuff, like, he should at least take damage when you hit the minecart. Like, the hitbox should include him. Different time rates between worlds. Oh, Sonic X does that. Because Sonic X's third season, Chris turns back into a kid when he goes to Sonic's world because of the time dilation, so... Wait a minute, doesn't Narnia do that? When they unfused and they went back to their own world, Sonic's world experiences time at a slower rate than Chris's world does. But yeah, Narnia also does the time dilation thing too. They literally like grow up and become kings and queens of Narnia, and then they go back and it's been like 2 days. That's terrible. I hate when that happens. Seeing that happen to somebody is awful. Oh man, I feel bad for you, Cyndaquil. Well, at least after you beat me, you have to go to the back. Approach, he says, by the way. Just approach, he says. Just approach, he says. Just approach, he says. Steve did. When we were talking about minecart and how to, like, avoid it, he said just approach. He has no way to counter it or something like that. Yeah, well, you have to go to the back after this match. Said to roll into him. Would it have changed anything? Be honest with me. Would that have made the match more fun? Would that have meant I win? Like, be honest. I mean, we all know Steve is not fun to fight. We just have to, we all know that Steve is no fun to fight even at high level play, assuming both people are perfectly matched anyway. So even if I did win, I probably wasn't going to have a fun time doing it. Time travel? Well, in Awakening, it's not really explained. I don't think it's really explained how the time travel works. They just say that they were able to do so, and it's pretty consistent. But the time travel they do, and the time travel they do in Awakening is pretty consistent, and they make like a decent story out of it because it creates a new, better future that's a separate timeline from the one they were in. It's one of those. In Fates, they time travel by sending their kids to a alternate dimension where time happens at a different rate, so that when they come back, they're fully grown and they're ready to be in your army. Then and then the artifacts in I think it's Engage, the most recent one. Kids are kind of broken if you know what you're doing. Well, that's true in any Fire Emblem game with kids. The kids have, like, amazing abilities and are incredible. Although, but I didn't make kids. I didn't make the units based on that. I picked who I thought would be good together and just ran with it. The hair would, yes. Morgan's hair would change depending on the parents. I know that. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, no, the hair color does change depending on the parents. Lucina did not die after. I told you, it creates a new timeline. The world they traveled back in time to has been changed, but it creates a new timeline. It doesn't like, they don't cause themselves to disappear or anything like that. It's a different world. And they also don't go back to their own timeline because their own timeline is doomed. Everybody they love there is dead. They didn't want that to happen to somebody. They didn't want that to happen again. Oh, also, I guess to answer your question, yes, I would have more fun fighting Mii Gunner and Sora than Steve. And I do have more fun fighting them. Isn't that just spatial travel? No, because it is a different time frame, and their actions... Who enjoys fighting Steve? I mean, I don't know. Maybe some sorties? I forget who's, like, actually okay at fighting Steve. Sonic, ugh. I don't want to see any Sonic versus Steve matches. That just sounds like a timeout. Hey, Omni. I know. Sonic is gonna be slow no matter what. But in every match where I do win against Steve, I have to slow down the game immensely anyways. What is the most confusing lore? Well, Kingdom Hearts is a right jumble, but Sora's story himself is actually pretty simple. Kirby's lore isn't really confusing at all. Kirby's lore is pretty simple, it's just that it was given piecemeal over several games. Bayonetta's lore is a little weird, and I don't think Bayonetta 3 helped at all. Fire Emblem's lore is usually pretty simple. Usually it's that some rival army is taking over my kingdom, or I need to fight, you know, to save somebody. I haven't played too many of them, to be fair. Kirby's a man-child. Kirby's not a man-child. Bayonetta is a mom, yeah. She has a kid with Luca, I'm pretty sure. I don't know where you got the idea that Kirby's a man-child. He's not. He's not a baby, but he's not a man-child. He just kind of is. He's a little piece of dark matter, I believe, which is what the whole thing with the soul was. I forget exactly what the description of it is. Right Back At Ya isn't canon to the show. And also in Right Back At Ya, Kirby is literally a baby. Right Back At Ya isn't canon to the games, I mean. Some people argue that Star Allies is bad, but I do maintain that Kirby has no bad games. That's not canon? No, the show has many discrepancies with the actual games that don't make any sense. Like, let's talk about it. Cappy Town is not a location in any of the games. Escargoon does not appear in any of the games except for one side mode in Mass Attack. Dedede is not an outright villain in the games. He has that one bit in Dreamland and Superstar, but after that, almost every single time you fight Dedede, he's mind controlled. Or in the case of Squeak Squad, he's just straight up wrong. He just assumes that Dedede did something, but Dedede actually did nothing. Although it is pretty funny that Squeak Squad does have the monster machine. Nightmare is a character that appeared exclusively in Kirby's Adventure, and he definitely doesn't run a company that sells monsters, and DDD definitely doesn't buy monsters. That's not a thing that happens in any of the games. Kirby's not a baby, he's not some legendary hero that woke up too early, that's not a thing in the games. There's no Tiff and Tough, Kirby doesn't live with a bird in his house. Well, and if it is canon to the games, where the heck is Adeline? Painting and getting mind controlled by dark matter. Speaking of, dark matter is nowhere to be seen in the show, if I recall. The main villain, it's a Monster of the Week show, and it's a Monster of the Week show, and the main villain is Nightmare, who is a really inconsequential character in the grand scheme of things with Kirby. Like, if the villain was dark matter, that would make a lot more sense, but no, Nightmare is the main villain in Kirby, and he runs NME. Yeah. Nightmare shows up at the end, but it's implied that he's been, like, running the whole show the entire time. But Kirby's friends from Dreamland 2 do appear in the show. Cries and Gooey. Yeah. Marks never appeared. None of, Dynablade appeared, but Dynablade is not really a villain even in the original game. No Kabula? No. That's true. Okay, you want to talk about the show's relationship with you want to talk about the show's relationship with 3D? That show had a very tumultuous budget, let's just say. The show's relationship with its animation was off. Very, very frequently, they would animate characters in 3D to save money. Most notably, Kirby, I don't think Kirby is, like, ever 2D. He might be in, like, 1 or 2 shots, but he's never gone a full episode with only 2D. DDD was in 3D a lot. Which is a shame, because I actually think he looks really bad in that show's 3D. Escargoon is almost always 3D. Tiff and Tough are usually 2D. I mean, DDD is straight up, I think, the best part of the anime. He does for the Kirby anime what Robotnik does for the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, Waddle Dees don't have a mouth, not in the games, nor in the show. They just kind of, in the show, they just kind of absorb it through their mouth as a visual gag, but that's just Kirby characters. Oh, yeah, Fololo and Falala, which is a weird change they made considering in the original they're just called Lololo and Lalala. They're from another HAL game called The Adventures of Lololo. An interesting thing about the dubs of that show specifically, none of Kirby's dialogue was dubbed except for in the first episode, because he says characters' names. And stay out. Doesn't Yoshi mean adopted child? No, I'm pretty sure Yoshi is just a common pet name. Now who's gonna stop the Steve? I don't know! I'm not going to stop the Steve. I'm going to suffer. Yoshi means dragon. Oh, okay. I thought Ryu means dragon. Ah, shoot. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, like the part where I realize that I actually have no chance in this matchup. Who wants to talk about that combo that just did 68 damage to me? I don't know how. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know he's messing with me, right? Like, he's not taking this seriously because he doesn't have to. Yeah. The side special wouldn't help. It wouldn't get me a kill. Shadow Dragon Killer smushed together, which is a very subtle villain name. I mean, it's not much more subtle than things like Darth Vader. For some reason, I thought Yoshi was a very common name for a dog in Japan. And I don't know if that's true. Today was a bad day for Smash. Yeah? Just disengage. Do you want to switch to multiverses? Why do you want me to switch to multiverses? Steve isn't in it. No, not today. We will suffer. We will suffer through the gauntlet that is Steve. We've done it before. It'll happen again. There's really nothing you can do to make the Steve matchup fun. There is a Steven. That's true. So they added Iron Giant back into the game, by the way, and he's got a combo that kills at 0. At least on Batcave it does. Every character has a 0. It's multiverses. Not every character, but yeah. Multiverse, I don't know what Multiverse's plan is for its game flow state. It feels like it just kind of skips neutral altogether. I did see that. I retweeted that. There was a comic, actually. I wonder if Mario's mom is named Mia Mario since his catchphrase is Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia is just an expression of annoyance from Mario. I also can't remember the last time I've heard Mario say Mamma Mia. Like, he says it in Mario 64. I think he says it in Sunshine, but I don't remember him saying it in Galaxy Onward. He says it in the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games. Yeah, it already means my mother. It's already a common exasperated phrase. It's like saying, swear on me, mum. What a two-frame. Maybe ABBA suit. Oh, yeah, you know, doesn't he say it in the movie? I don't remember if he says it in the movie. I don't think so. He doesn't say much Italian stuff in the movie at all. He says let's go, but it's really weird that he says let's go when he doesn't have an Italian accent for anything else he says. No, he doesn't say let's go, does he? He says here we go. Yeah. He shouldn't say let's go. That wouldn't make any sense. He doesn't, but then that old gentleman, I think his name is Giuseppe, the old gentleman from the Punch-Out pizza place. He does do his wahoo in that. Oof. What do you think? Trying to think of what Mario's mom's name is now? You are. I'm not trying to think of what Mario's mom's name is. I don't really care what Mario's mom is named. But they probably have names for all of Mario's family. Let me check the wiki. They're called Papa, Mama, Tony, Arthur, Marie, grandfather, who is unnamed, and the niece. They don't have, most of them don't have names. Tony's the one with the afro, and Arthur's the one with the slicked back hair. Marie is the one with the pointy nose and the ring earrings. And the niece is the one with the backwards ball cap. Did you finish the TTYD remake? I did, actually. I finished it. I beat the new super bosses. I had a good time. I will stream it eventually. Wish they kept the cricket sound. Well, the cricket was a mistranslation. Well, not so much a mistranslation as an intentional translation change. In the original game, it's supposed to be a frog. And in the new one, it's a frog too. They changed it to cricket because they thought the sound effect sounded a lot more like a cricket than a frog. So, in that one, I don't really care about it. Cricket or frog, it's the same thing, really. It definitely didn't sound frogly in the original. Yeah,
So when they remade it, they changed the sound to make it more like a frog, and they kept that and they changed the translation to be more similar to the original. Some dialogue was changed, even in the original Japanese script. They didn't copy it wholesale, of course. You know, most of the conversation has been around Vivian, so you didn't really hear about other stuff, but I'm sure other dialogue has been changed slightly. I like what Cole is doing. I'm rooting for Cole. Does Ms. Mouse have attacks? Yes. Yes, she has attacks. What do you... She's a partner, of course she has attacks. Isn't there a theory Vivian is... No, Vivian's transness is pretty explicit now. Oh, that's so sad. I was rooting for you, Cole. I wanted Cole to win. Yeah, I know, Steve things. It was canon in the original Japanese script. They actually changed some of the dialogue in that as well. Like in the end when Goombella says, Vivian went back to her sisters, I guess family's really important, they changed it to, Vivian went back to her sisters, I guess she's giving them a second chance. That's true. They changed the dialogue regarding Hooktail. Everyone seems to know Hooktail's a girl now, unlike the original where they just assume that Hooktail is male. I don't know. They weren't called sirens in the original. In the Japanese version originally, either. They changed it to Shadow Sirens. It's an interesting situation where a lot of the rewrites in this game, I think, people don't really care about, or they think it makes it better, where usually you see a lot of people complaining about it. I guess an example where they did fix it, but everybody hates that, is when they changed the dialogue in, Symphony of the Night. Everyone was like, well, they made it better, but now it's not as funny. No, I do remember people complaining about it, but, like, on the whole, I've seen way more people talking about how much they like it. Yeah, they changed that. Oh.
Steve wins.
Yu Hakusho would be hurt by a more accurate translation. I don't want to see an accurate translation of Samurai Pizza Cats. I don't care. Well, discourse about what's the most accurate adaptation, regardless of which is the better story. Yeah, I know a lot of people want like a Brotherhood, want like a Brotherhood remake for everything now. I'm gonna do GT soon. Oh man. Go Sonic, go Sonic. At least there isn't a Corrin here. Didn't Dragonite say he was gonna play Corrin? Dang it. Oh, alright. No, never mind. I don't know why I said dang it. I meant the opposite. Oh, okay. Deviating from the source is just kind of normal. I think I want to talk a little bit about how the idea of filler has kind of poisoned some discussions regarding shows. Like, you're hearing the term filler used for shows that don't really have a focus on plot, or like they'll have it briefly. Like, I think, like, I saw people call some stuff in Steven Universe filler, even me, but I realize now that that's not really what the show was, and to say it's filler is kind of ridiculous. Sonic, Game & Watch, Corrin, and Steve, and it'll all be great. This is the state of Smash in 2024. Well, yes, One Piece and Naruto are perhaps the poster boys for filler. And in Naruto's case, it was pretty bad. And I believe in the case of Naruto, it was because they basically had nothing to go off of because the manga ended and they hadn't had any new episodes, so they had to keep going because the show was doing well. Oh, that was almost cool. Not every episode where big plot stuff isn't happening is a waste, though. I think that's also it, too. Like, if something big isn't happening, people tend to call it filler, and they say you can skip the episode. I don't know anything about Boruto. I mean, I don't know anything about Naruto, but I know even less about Boruto. Lost a lot of character building as a result. Because I know some people say, and some people do try to cut out filler when it comes to Avatar. And it kind of turns into a problem there because there's like things that you... One Piece and Naruto, you don't need to watch the filler. I think those are examples where they kind of had to come up with something to keep the show going, but they didn't really have anything, so it couldn't matter. The stories they made could not matter, because if they ended up mattering, well, then it would deviate from what the story was eventually going to be. I think Brotherhood and Kai kind of gave people this idea that, like, if it doesn't have nothing but the story episodes in it, then you shouldn't watch them, you know? No, Sonic! Sonic might get crushed here. Boruto ended with dinosaurs. Speaking of dinosaurs, what happened to all the dinosaurs in Dragon Ball? The original Dragon Ball was full of fantastical creatures. What happened to all of them? In fact, I remember there was this... one episode in Super... this one clip from Beerus where he's saying, isn't that planet that had all those dinosaurs a long time ago? And it's like, look, they're still there. I do miss the animal people, too. The only one who's even around anymore is Oolong. And I guess also the turtle in Kame House. Dragon Ball was changed forever once they started doing tournament arcs. By the furries, he means that there are all these animal people living... There was all these animal people living in the Dragon Ball world. They were like wolfmen and stuff like that. There was a lot of it in the original Dragon Ball, but as Z kept going through, they pulled back from a lot of it, and I don't think any appear in like Super at all. It's all aliens now. And they're all humanoid aliens, you know? Chargers? I have more of a problem with what is it? He hit himself? I thought he was immune to that. Anyway, I think the worst for me is, blasters. There you go. I'm not very good at charges either. I prefer... My favorite weapons are the arrow spray, the end zap, and the splatling. can't beat him, join him. That's the thing, I can't join him either. If I could join him, I would have started playing Steve, but I can't play Steve well enough to warrant it. Oh, pfft. He looks so silly falling all the way in the distance. Ooh. That's a shame, Zelrog. I wanted you to win. I really hoped that you would have pulled through. Hey, get that bot out of here. Luck. Oh, thanks, Booyo. Whoa, 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 whoa. We good? Oh, alright.
Buyoshus has gladly donated $5, just cause I wanna.
Thanks,
Good stream.
Booyo.
I'll see you later.
I will see you later too, Booyo. We good? Is it working? Alright. I got a bot yesterday too, actually. I have to disengage. He's disengaged. Disengage. Don't get to play. Get to wait around. Cyndaquil, not only did you... Okay, Cyndaquil, that is so wrong, it's kind of funny. Not only did you get the image incorrect, that factoid has also been completely disproven multiple times. It's a picture of a coconut that people refer to, and you can remove the coconut just fine. Nothing happens when you get rid of it. Disengage, disengage. I still lost. Back off. He just pressures me out. Disengaging only helps Steve gets more powerful anyway, because that means that he can keep mining for materials. And I still had one stock left, so it's not like, you know, it was still down to only one stock left, so it's not like it really changed anything. The thing about the picture of the coconut is that it's a texture. You can remove every single texture from TF2 and the game will function fine. Every single texture can be taken out of it. Everything will have the checkerboard missing texture, but it will play just okay. When the game will actually break is if you remove something like a model. I've heard all this before. Push my advantage state, disengage in dangerous situation. I've heard this all before, unfortunately. When it's Steve, every situation's a dangerous situation. I'm never safe. In order for that to make any... Do you think they'd have a UI in the game that lets you just delete the coconut and that's it? If you're using DK versus Steve, just expect the worst. I do. And somehow I'm even more disappointed than before. Omni comes by to say hi, but he doesn't really play. K-Rool is a bad idea versus Steve. All of his projectiles get blocked by blocks. K-Rool doesn't really have a way to get in. He doesn't have any pressure. He can't really do anything to Steve to force him to engage. Steve can absolutely control the pace at which the match goes with blocks. That's true. K-Rool is worse than DK in most instances. Min Min gets blocked by blocks as well. I haven't seen very many top level K-Rools. Do they exist anymore, or has everybody ditched them? Use a character with a good reflector. That, I mean, having a reflector doesn't instantly make the rest of your game plan good against Steve. Arrow smash and fast falls. It goes over the wall. That's true. He should go to the back because he's fighting Cole again. Maybe Cole will pull through this time. Maybe we'll see an end to the reign of Steve. But it's true that if you guys want to keep doing this, then fine. But after this, Cloud, you got to go to the back. Corrin, the best Corrin players have beaten or pushed the best Steve players to their limits. Corrin has to play with Steve's blocks in ways others can't. Is Steve starting to define the meta? Are there characters, are people picking characters based on how good they are against Steve specifically? The main thing that Steve is banned from is HBox's streams. TNT is not any concern for that. I mean, the concern is that he can detonate it for free by standing on top of it. You don't have to switch. You can keep playing Steve all you want. If you like playing Steve, by all means, keep playing him. I don't think Sonic is the best in the game. He slows the game down, and he's not fun to fight, sure, but he's he's not fun to fight, but he's not the best. Okay. I'm very confused.
Alright, Braxton, what you got? Okay. Becomes easier to combat them. No. Those, I mean, those combos still do like 70%. All he has to do is walk at you. He has insane shield pressure just by holding the A button. Oh, just parry. Right, I forgot. Parrying. Sure. Trying to parry intentionally usually just gets me killed, so I don't bother. I'm dead. Sonic beat Steve, but you beat Sonic.
Alright, I'm dead. I don't know how I buffered a get-up attack. Oh, right, I should have expected it to be Mithra. So it's really not gonna go much better for me, is it? Oh wow, actually. He's doing it. Ooh. Wow. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Wow. I mean, it is a very stark difference from Steve versus this, isn't it? No. Oh, man. Keep your cool now, Zalrog. Oh, thank you, Mizu. Hello. You've caught us near the tail end of our stream today. We've got about 15 minutes before we're gonna end. So, you may not be able to get a match in. But we do this every Friday, so if you want to come back next week, we got it all set up for you. Oh, I'm surprised that worked. This is weird. Again. Good connection in Smash Ultimate is an oxymoron. Especially against Mii Gunner Grenade full screen. I can handle Mii Gunner pretty well. I'm not perfect, but I've played against Zalrog's Mii Gunner so much that I don't mind anymore. Granted, if they're not using his set, then I'm not familiar. Hello, Celeste. Wow, you caught us right at the end today, didn't you? What brings you over here? Notice you like my family portrait. How could you notice that? When likes are now hidden. Fool, it was all a lie. Crazy. But yes, I did retweet it. I retweeted it right now, actually. sure my totally not more successful than me sisters will appreciate it. Alright, we got 10 minutes. That's usually about time for... That's usually enough time for 3 battles. We're just gonna see what happens. See you later, Zelrog. Okay, but 3 Steve battles? It's Enderman, not Steve. Different guy. Can Steve beat Goku, though? It depends. Can Goku handle recovering when Steve puts the blocks up? Isn't this the Sonic player? Yes, actually, it does look like it's the Sonic player. Guess he decided to switch up. Steve's fascinate me because Steve has a moveset so busted I can't even figure out how to use it properly. Yeah, you hear all those Steve mains are wrecking everyone. That's because of Steve. Well, I've talked about this before. Steve is a character that kind of breaks a lot of rules of how to play a character in Smash. How you approach him, what to expect in disadvantage, the way he interacts with everything is totally different. Steve on Steve violence is the funniest type. That's true, I do like Steve on Steve violence. Oh, poor Sephiroth. Actually, no, I shouldn't have to say that. Really makes me wonder what's next for the future of Smash Bros. Like after all this time and playing this game so much, we're all gonna have to start over from zero, aren't we? I have to start from zero and despite it being blatantly obvious, most people will be unreasonably mad anyway. Maybe. But I meant start from zero in terms of our skills. We're gonna have to relearn all of our characters and deal with all the changes that they've made. And especially the people whose characters are gone. People don't like when you remove anyone from a fighting game, even if nobody plays them. Mortal Kombat taught you that. I think Street Fighter players are generally okay with it. They're used to people leaving all the time. Something Emma Boone said was that people who complain about Jade being removed are liars because she's played by 1% of players. Huh. All right. I don't know about that, actually. Percent rage for Smash characters. All we have are, like, tournament brackets, but in tournaments, people play characters for different reasons than they might otherwise. Oh, who doesn't love that the minecart? He missed, but he gets to use the minecart again anyway. They need to change that. If they bring Steve back next time, they need to change the... They need... If they play... Oh, man. If they bring Steve back, they need to change how minecart and TNT works. He can't just detonate it for free while standing on top of it. Nor should minecart be a free command grab with an incredible disjoint. That's crazy. It already forces you into a disadvantageous position by making you jump. So by punishing you for shielding it with a grab when no other projectile in the game works that way is ridiculous. Being able to detonate TNT while you're standing on top of it feels like it's an exploit, and I'm shocked that they didn't fix it. It's just never going to be fun to fight Steve, no matter how much matchup knowledge you have. Which is a shame. I would love it if it was more fun to fight Steve. Then I wouldn't have to complain so much. I don't like complaining, but it keeps happening. The world of Steve was nerfed. I don't know if Steve's even coming back. I honestly think that Banjo has a higher chance of coming back than Steve does, but that might just be me. I mean, he did get released first. Rosa, huh? That's a little surprising. I guess she's a little too technical. But this is more what you expect from Steve. This is like, I'm putting up blocks and mining. If you want to come get me, well, you're going to have to put yourself in disadvantage to do so. I'm literally separating myself from you. I've heard some people suggest that they make a nerf where Steve can't place a block. Steve can't place a block in the air. Which would be nuts. And it would change a lot about how the character works, and I don't know if that's a good idea. If this Steve wins here, did we have a whole day where the Steves never lost? No, Zelrog beat the Steve one time, didn't he? I'm trying to think now. Ooh, nice hit. Let's see if we can turn that into a victory for the non-Steve. Even if it is from another Steve main. Ooh, well, finally. I guess a Steve lost. It just had to be with another Steve main. The only way to beat Steve, I guess, is to find somebody else who mains him and have them fight them with someone who is stronger against him. Well, playing Smash on reaction is usually stronger than trying to make a first move.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I had fun near the beginning. Let's see. Tomorrow is the art stream. We have the LGBT tunes that you guys voted for. And then on Sunday, we've got the other one that was the second place winner. And we also have the cartoon party, the watch party tomorrow, which is also for LGBT. So, thank you all for coming and watching. I'll see you guys next time. This was a very good afternoon and a good night. And